Okay, so the next thing you will do is look at this. We called three things here. I called get data, that is you should put the data. That's the meaning of called get data. I also put another one here, this error check that I have not called. You don't know the meaning of error check now. We've not defined it. Another one is this q is equal to calc discharge. It's also a function that we've not defined. So let's define that. We can't do that from the button anymore. So you can just come here, you say private, just as we have, you can see private sub whatever. Okay, so you say private sub, what's the first one? Get data, right? That's what we're calling get data. This one that I'll call, I also call this command clear data. This has been defined already, so I don't need to write any function for it anymore. But this called get data, I have to write a function for it. I have to write a code for it because I've not written anything on it before. So private sub, what's the name? Get data. Then you put the parentheses at the front and back. Then you say next. When you do that, it will bring that line automatically. So what are the data you want to put? The input data. You want to put this B. You want to put B. You want to put N. You want to put S naught. You want to put Z. You want to put Y. Okay, good. So I can say B equals to what? The value of whatsoever you have inside that text box. And what's that? What do you have inside that text box? That should be txtb.text. All right. Yeah. So let me copy. I can only have 5 inputs. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. All right. I can have 5 inputs. These are the data that I'm supposed to get. That's what I mean by get data. That's what I mean by get data. So I'm supposed to get the data of B, get the data of N, get data of S naught, get data of Z, get data of Y before I can say I want to solve. So let's do that. So I've done for B. Let me do for N. So this will change to N. Then S naught. So change this to S naught. This will be Z. This will be Y. Okay, so you end that sub automatically. The end sub will be there already. So that's all. So we've called that get data. So I also have to call this is a function. So that will be private function. That's a function. Private function error as what will I declare it? Okay, I will declare it as integer because you can see that I say if error equals to 1, I just put that 1 there to have an argument. If I don't put the 1 there won't be an argument. So I have to declare it as an integer because that 1 is an integer. I believe you all know 1 is an integer. So I have to declare it as integer. You have to declare your function. So enter. Okay. So we say private function Excel, but we've told it what it should do if it gets the error. We say it should bring this message box. But what is that error? It doesn't know. But it knows that when it sees the error, it should bring this message box. But it doesn't know what that error means. I am the one that know the error. I know that okay, when B is less than 0 or B equals to 0, we have that error. That is, if B is not there, if you don't put the value of B, that's what I mean by if B is less than or equal to 0. If B is not there, is an error. So you can just say if B is less than or equals to 0. Okay, let me say or. Let me just put in a okay. Or N is less than or equals to 0, or S naught is less than or equals to 0, or Z is less than or equals to 0, or Y is less than or equals to 0. Then you can close it and say then what do you have? Your error check equals to what? Equals to 1. So you can end the if. You can end the if statement. S, I've already told it that S, you should just go ahead and calculate the discharge. So That's good. So and then you end your function. The other thing you will do is we have to declare this q too. This q equals to calculate discharge. I have to define it too. So that will be private function, not sub again. That's private function calc discharge, and that will be what? That will be single. That will be single. Okay. So now, if you want to calculate this discharge, okay, sorry, I wanted to be putting the. Let me just say here. We want to calculate discharge. Let me see. Here there should be a comma. Here we want to input our data to get a result, right? Let me see. Here we want to define what this error function is. That's what I want to do here. What about here? Clear. Okay. Private command. Let me see. Here we want to activate the end program button, right? I think that's all. Command solve. Here we want to solve for q, but we need to take care of some errors that can come up while solving for q, e.g. let me continue under e.g. if you don't pick a unit system, or if you don't provide one of the 5 input data. You know what the 5 input data is, because if you don't provide all those, you will not be able to get. So whoever is reading this program, when you read all this, automatically you'll be able to understand what is going on here, even without seeing any textbook. Okay, so that's the purpose of that description. So don't forget to put that single hyphen at the front. So here we want to calculate discharge, right? So how are we going to calculate discharge? Before we can calculate discharge, you need to know the formula for discharge. You have to know the real formula for the discharge. So I think I have the formula here. Okay, so this is the formula for q, discharge. Discharge q equals to cu over n multiplied by a multiplied by r multiplied by s naught. So now this is the problem. For you to calculate your q, it is not a problem. Let me just say this is the way. For you to calculate your q, you have to know your a, you have to know your r, you have to know your s naught. No, sorry, you have to know your a and r. I didn't mention n. Why? Because n is part of the inputs. N is part of the 5 inputs. Also, s naught is part of the input. Cu is also a constant. We've provided Cu to be equals to what? 1 if it is metric, and it should be 1.4 ACs if it is international, or if it is imperial. So it is only a and r that you don't know right now. So you have to know what a is, you have to know what r is as well. So to do that, just come and say if before you do that, you have to define your A. So just say A equals to what? What's the formula for A? Just input the formula for A. Here you just need to put the formulas. So what's the formula for A? I think the formula for A should be here as well. Or is it up? Okay, this is the formula for A. B plus zy y. You see it's B plus zy y. So let me just put that. You can't copy from here to the problem. That's the problem. Had it been I can copy from here, I'll just copy this and go and paste it over there. So you have to write it. So A equals to B plus z multiplied by y. Then I think everything multiplied by y. By y. That's the formula for A. But there's something I want to do. I also want to calculate A. I also want to calculate A. I want my A to be here. So for that reason, I will say that, okay, whatsoever you calculate as the answer, I don't want you to keep it to itself. I want you to give me the results. And I want you to provide the results where? Inside this text box. So what am I going to do? I will say, okay, the answer it gets from this, when I next, that's the continuation. The answer it gets from this, you should put it where? You should put it in this text box, txt A, right? Dot text. You should put it there. That's where I want you to put the answer. So that's one. Also, we said Q depends on what? Q depends on, is it R? Yeah, Q depends on R. So it depends on, and R as well depends on P. So you have to know P. If you don't know P, you can't know R. So let me go and look for P as well. So what's the formula for P? This is the formula for P. B plus 2yy, whatever. So let me write P. The formula for P. P equals B plus 2y. B plus 2 multiplied by y, open bracket, one plus z square, open bracket, 1 plus z, z square, let me just say z times z. You can write z square, but it's still the same thing. Z square, then open close bracket, there is to power 1 over 2, right? Raised to power 1 over 2. Instead of saying raised to power 1 over 2, which one is raised to power 1 over 2? I think it's this one in the bracket that is raised to power 1 over 2. Okay, so if that's the case, I can write it like this. 1 over 2 is still as square root. So square root. I think that's a good one. Then you also say txt p dot text. Don't mind me. Dot text, not dot txt. Dot text. That's what I want. That's where I want you to provide the answer. Equals to what? Equals to p. So the answer for p will also be provided in a particular portion. And then let's see something. 12, 16. Also, we now need R, right? So what's R? R equals, what's R? R equals A over P. Now let me even write T first. Let me write T. Let me just write it as it is like this. T equals to B plus 2zy. Let me check it again. T equals to B plus 2zy. B plus 2zy equals to b plus 2 times z times y. So there won't be confusion. Then txt t dot text equals t. The next one is what? R. Next one is R. Then R equals what? A over P. Then the answer should be what? txtr dot text equals R. Then I have D. Right? D equals to A over T. D equals A over T. Then the answer is what? Should be where txtd dot text equals D. Okay, so when we have all of this, we can now have our Q. You know, without this, you can't have Q. Well, without D, without T, we can still have Q. But without A, P, and R, we can have Q. So that is why you have to define all of those. So now you just need to define your real function that you define here, your real function that you called when you're talking about solve. Right? When you're talking about this one, your calculate discharge. So you have to explain what that calculate discharge is. You know, you say you should calculate Q. So what's that calculate discharge? So let's see. So it answer, okay, calculate discharge, which is still the same as Q. You know, you say Q is equal to calculate discharge. So calc discharge, or you say Q equals, so calculate discharge. What's now the formula of that? The formula of Q. The formula of Q is this. You can see that's why I say you have to calculate A. You have to know what A is. You have to know what R is. So Q equals to Cu over N. Cu equals to, open brackets, Cu divided by N. I think I'm going to close these brackets. Then let's continue. Multiply by A, multiply by R, multiply by A, multiply by R, raised to power, let me say, raised to power 2 over 3. Then multiply by square root of S naught. Then multiply by square root of what? Then let me use capital. Square root of what? S naught. Okay. So that's all. You don't need to tell it where. Oh, that's called syntax error. I have two parentheses there. That's why it's bringing that one for me. Okay. So after that, that is all. You don't need to tell it where it should provide the results. Why? Because we've done that already. We've done that already. And you can see when I say Q is equal to calculate discharge, I've already told it where it should provide the results. So I don't need to bother writing where it should provide the result, just like I did for all this. So I think that should be the end of the program. So let's run it and let's see what we have. First of all, you see I didn't pick anything. Let's click on solve. Compile error. Wow, what's that? Q. Sorry, what did you call the compile error? I didn't, but let's do it again. Solve. Compile variable not defined. Oh, I did not define a particular variable. Q. I didn't define Q. Let's see, is it true? Let's stop that. It's dim B Y Z A P S I. Oh, it's true. I didn't declare q, so let's declare q too. You can see, so q, let's declare q as single. So if there's any important thing you didn't declare here, there will be that problem. So now let's see if we've changed that. So let's see solve. Okay, you see we've repaired that now. So when I click on solve, you see what did it bring? Kindly pick one of the two unit system. This is the message box it will bring. This is the message box it is supposed to bring. Why did it bring this message box? Because I didn't pick any of this. I didn't pick English, neither did I pick international. So let's say I've picked one now. Alright, then after picking the one, I decide not to put anything here. You know, if I don't put anything here, I'm not supposed to get a value. I'm not supposed to get any solution. So let's say I click on solve. It's supposed to bring a message box that say kindly input your data. So let's click solve. Another variable not defined. Which variable is that one again? Error check. Error check. Who is using error check? Did I press error check? Where is it? The variable we defined over here. Under the solve. Error. It is only error. Oh, it is meant to be error, not error check. Don't mind me. It should be error. This should be error. Okay. So let's see now. So let me say I pick English, then I click on solve. Which other error? I still did not declare D. Hey, there's problem. Oh, let me go and declare D. So D as single, Abi. No problem. Okay, now so I've declared D. You understand? Whenever you have a error, it's going to tell you the nature of the error. So it is very easy for you to debug. Whenever there's an error, it's very easy for you to just see, okay, you did not declare this. Okay, this is the problem. So let's see. So now let me assume I've picked one of the one of the system, and I click solve. You know, I do not provide any data. So when I click solve, I'm expecting a message box that will say kindly input your data. So let's click that. You can see the message box. It says what? Kindly input the correct data to get a solution. So if you don't put the data, you're not getting a solution. So that is what we've done. So that worked. So let's put a value. Let's say 12, 13, 17, 21, 24. Then click on solve. Yeah, so now we have a value. You can see the value for your Q, the value for your A, the value for your P, the value for your R, the value for your T, the value for your D. You understand? You have all of them here. Now let's see something. Let's click on clear data. You know, when we say clear data, we activated that everything should clear. So let's see clear data. You can see the answer, the question, everything clears. It is only this one that did not clear, and that's because I did not include it. Should we include it? That's not a problem. We can also include it if you want. So let's go and check for the clear data. Where do you have the clear data? Okay, command clear. Okay, so let's see. Let me put iPhone here to continue. Let me just copy this. Control C. Tap. Control V. Okay, so I can. So that will be txt. I think what is the txt selected? I think that's the name of the text box. Txt selected dot text equals to clear. Okay, so now I've done that. So let's run it again, and let's put some values: 12, 13, 12, 18. Just the number I'm even pressing is even from the number I'm calling. So solve. Kindly pick. Oh, sorry, I didn't pick any of the units. That's an error. You can see that's one of the important things. So let me click international this time around. Then click on solve. You can see it solved all of this. Now let me clear data and see if this will also clear or not. Clear data. You can see the SI also clear. That's because I've included it in what should clear. I've included it in the clear data option. Another thing we did was when I called for where is that? I think under the solve. Yeah, under the solve command. Sorry, the solve function. Here. when I say after the message box, after this message box that says kindly input the correct data to get a solution, I called for command clear data. That is all the rubbish you put before. I want you to clear it. So let's see if that will work too. So let's pick one. Yeah. Then 12, 34. Now, this is error one. That is, you did not finish inserting the complete number. Instead of 5, I've inserted 2 now. So I'm expecting an error box that will say kindly input your data, kindly complete it. So solve. It says kindly input the correct data to get a solution. Okay. So now when I click on this OK, I am expecting this 121, 134 to also clear. Even this ES will also clear. You understand? I'm expecting it to what? To clear. So let me click on OK. You see, automatically it clears. So that is the that is the purpose of this call command clear data that I put here. That is, after this message box, I want everything to clear. Do you understand? So let's assume I don't have it here. Let's say Control X. I don't have it here. Let me cut it. Then I pick one of this. Then I put 12. I put 13. Then I say solve, and it brings this message box. After OK, this will still be there. It will not clear it. It will still be there. I will be the one to say okay, clear, or you just come here and say clear data. You understand? But if I call it, automatically after the message box, it will get cleared. So that is the purpose of that. Let's do Control Z so that will come back. So this will be the end of the open channel problem using Manning formula, and then we did that with Visual Basic. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can get to higher number of subscribers, because that's the motivation. Thanks for watching.